right, and we are live. So on today's episode of CWT Live, and really what I just want to go over it right now is these Bitcoin dips. Like in the crypto, like buying community, it's been absolutely sorry about that. It's been absolute madness lately. And I think the big reason, behind everything that's going on is that there hasn't been any real like positive news about Bitcoin. I mean, as like the currency is still really like it really becomes popular and actually like takes off the more like positive news we get. And I put this here as more of like, just like a joke, but I think it's really, if you want to help me buy these dips, like go on ahead. But really, like it's kind of funny because like when it first started dipping, like it went from I believe it was $63,000 to more like basically it kind of like evened out around like 55 like $1,000 for a while. And once it hit $55,000, I kind of, got insanely happy because I'm like, wow, like I can't believe how far this coin has dipped. I'm about to go buy as much as possible. So then I put like the rest of my like money I had to spend because basically I never invest more than like I'm able to lose and still be fine. I basically, I'm trying to invest as much where if it fails, like I still can make my rent payment. So really like with all that, I put as much as like I possibly could into it. And then I kind of, assumed it would go back up. And of course, that's not what happened. And that's really why this video is being made because crypto is not doing good right now. Like we are at $49,000 for Bitcoin. And it's not just Bitcoin either. Like I was looking like almost, no, I'm pretty sure actually like every crypto that I actually hold is doing really bad right now. Some of them like down like more than 20%, which is absolutely like it's absolutely insane to see. Like yesterday I made a YouTube video and I was talking about like, everything that was going on. And I was saying that, at least like Ethereum, for instance, Ethereum is still doing really, really well. And like it's still doing pretty well, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to check that right now, but I'm pretty sure even that one has started to dip today, which is absolutely like crazy to see. And I'm pretty sure there's none that are actually doing like pretty well. Yeah, like Ethereum's down 12% right now, which is actually more than Bitcoin is today. Like, let me see what that current price is. I'm about to log in real quick because I actually didn't know Ethereum was doing bad either. Like Ethereum was like the only thing keeping my like crypto buying, part of my portfolio. But yeah, it's currently at $2,300, which is way lower than what it was yesterday. Like down 12%, which is like insane to see. And I really don't know what's going to happen here. Like I think that's like the worst part about all this is that, like I'm not sure what's about to happen. Like obviously I'm not gonna ban in crypto. I have diamond hands. But like when it comes to it, it's just like, like seeing, how much like the value of your dollar go down that much is absolutely like insane to see. But like the more it kind of goes down, the more opportunity there is there. And that's what I have to remember. Like crypto has been by far, like not even close, my best performing asset. And because of that, like just because, it's down right now, like I'm not really worried about like, the future of this coin or like this asset class in general. I have a lot of faith in Bitcoin. Like I've said it many times, like not just on these live streams, but on like my podcast in general, where like I think Bitcoin is just like the obvious future here. Like I was learning, like in my economics classes, I am in college right now, like about different like really like what the functions of money should be. And when you look at it, it's like one, it should be a store of value. Does like the US dollar really make sense as a store of value? And what I mean by that is that it is a depreciating asset. Like even if everything goes according to plan, it still is depreciating at 2.2% every single year, which I believe is pretty significant. I think that's absolutely insane. But yeah, it's still depreciating at a 2.2%. Like that's what inflation goes up every year, and that means the dollar is being devalued, every single year. But then you look at Bitcoin, which is an appreciating asset. Like it works better as a store of value because you actually can increase your value by holding it, which means like that function of money, it does better. And also like another function of money that like economists like agree on is that it should function as like essentially it should be easy to transport. And, while obviously, the US dollar is insanely easy to transport, it has nothing on Bitcoin, which is absolutely, insanely easy to transport. Like it's always with me. Like it's never, like I never, like it's not difficult to transport at all. And the more and more places that start letting Bitcoin be, used as a currency, which, there's still like some hesitations I have on it being a currency. I think it works really good as like a gold substitute, and that's personally why I'm investing into it. But I really, there is like some parts of it being currency that I don't get. Like I was actually talking about this the other day, but like it doesn't really make sense to me to use an appreciating asset to purchase a depreciating asset. Like I don't know why I would ever use my Bitcoin. And like if I go to the grocery store, I don't understand why I'd ever use my Bitcoin to buy it because my Bitcoin is going to keep going up in value. My US dollars are going to keep going down in value. So it makes sense to get rid of the US dollars and like keep my Bitcoin. But obviously, oh, and I was also like the insane fees. And this is a problem with Ethereum too, which is why when people say, like maybe Bitcoin doesn't work as like a currency, but like Ethereum does, Ethereum has like the exact same problem here. And also like the fees for both, which I think Ethereum is a little better on, but the fees for both are absolutely insane. Like it's insane like that, like it's like every time you buy it, you have to pay so much money just to use it as a currency that it doesn't really seem worth it for me to do so. But like obviously there's other cryptocurrencies that I like that also like I think work better, like, especially like with the fees. Like Nanocoin is something that I've talked about quite a bit, especially like on my blog. And I think Nano kind of works as like because basically you can use it and there's like no fees. It's pretty like instant purchases. Like if someone went on like my store for business.weebly.com and they bought some with Nano, which hopefully will become like available in the future, I'm going to get the money instantly and they're not going to pay any fees to do so. So it does make a lot more sense to use that one as a currency. But obviously, Nano isn't like, as popular as Bitcoin. And also Monero is another cryptocurrency that I think works very well as currency because it's also like very low fees. And I think it's really interesting to kind of like see, like that happen. Like I haven't gotten into Monero yet as an investment. I do have a few, like I have a small investment in Nano and also Banano Coin, and it's just like having like the absolute freeless crypto like feeless cryptocurrency where you can go, you can buy things like there's no like insane gas fees like with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also you get the money instantly because I was talking to some people on like some of like the business groups that I'm in, and they're talking about like how with their store like they let Bitcoin be used as currency. We can actually like buy stuff with it, and they were saying that like some of these people are buying stuff off their store and yet they're not actually getting like the people that are like owning the store aren't actually getting the Bitcoin until like weeks after that because this takes so long to actually receive the Bitcoin when someone like uses it to buy it. And obviously I don't know like all the mechanics there, but that does seem pretty significant on it like being like an actual kind of currency. But again, like I am holding my biggest, and it's not even close, my biggest investment into cryptocurrency is Bitcoin because I do think it works such a good like store of value. Like the limited aspect of these coins, the fact that there is 21 million just shows like the value behind it because it's so scarce. Like as anyone in economics knows, scarcity creates value. And like since it's like so scarce, like there's so little, and it's also such like a coveted asset where so many people want to own it, it makes sense that this is going to increase in value like very long term. So even though like we are experiencing, an extremely annoying dip in the whole like Bitcoin economy, and it's like it did go down like more than $10,000 just in the past few days, and it has been absolutely annoying to see. There's no possible way, I'm selling my Satoshis. And the reason for that, like I actually thought about doing, this was actually something on my mind, but I believe I thought about this when it was just over 50,000. I thought about like selling and then like buying back once it does like creeps lower. But like at the end of the day, I do not trust my ability to time the market, and I do not like want to risk having to buy all the satoshis that I've bought, over the years at like a much higher price. It just doesn't seem very like reasonable for me to do that. But I do think it is extremely, extremely interesting seeing this right now. I think a lot of it is news with like the new possibility, which I mean obviously it won't pass, but the possibility of a new capital gains tax just means someone like send like over like $1 million in like Bitcoin value, and like obviously with stocks too, which is why like stocks are taking such a, or like yesterday they took like a small dip, but with it, like they'd have to pay like 50% in like taxes, which obviously, the Bitcoin whales and like cryptocurrency whales are hoarding like a bunch of this crypto are a little concerned by that because they don't have to pay like that much. So like they're kind of like, selling a lot of the Bitcoin. And if I was a betting man, I'd be willing to bet like a big part of this dip is, well, the big part of the start of this was like those people, becoming like a little nervous and like trying to sell some. And then like at the end of the day, what Bitcoin is and what's like separates this from like any other investment is that a lot of the people in this are retail investors, like, just normal people like me who like buy it. And the thing is, once they start seeing like the value of something drop, and I think this hasn't been that big of a deal in like the overall stock market, but I think it actually could be as like, retail investors are becoming like more and more part, of the investing world, like me, for instance, where like I think it makes sense that, they see it start dropping, they start selling like their assets and then it keeps dropping further, which, first, like it basically confirms their opinion that it's going to drop. So then they sell more. And then like, the same cycle just like continues for a while until it eventually reaches, like the nice little bottom and starts going back up again. And, I've been trying to like think about what I imagine this like bottom be, like how far it's going to dip. Right now, I'm thinking 45K. I'm thinking we're going to see Bitcoin drop to 45K and then start like going back up. Obviously, there's no possible way for me to know. That's just like my speculation. But I think that would be like really interesting to see it drop like 45K. And if I could buy more Satoshis at $45,000 a coin, I'm going to be a very happy person. That's really like how I'm like thinking about all this right now. Like at first it was like, wow, like it's crazy seeing the value of my money like drop so significantly. But also like at the same time, this is something that I believe in very long term, and I don't have any plans at all to sell any of my cryptocurrency right now, unless like in the next few years. Like it's going to be a while before I even like consider selling anything. So, with this, it's like a bump in the way, and I still think, I made this prediction back in January, and I stand by it now that I think by December of this year we're going to see $100,000 a coin. That's my personal prediction, and with that in mind, it makes sense to buy as much as I possibly can at these lower prices, because right now with it like at 50K, I genuinely believe that anything I buy in right now, I will double by the end of the year. And like that level of return on investment is absolutely insane. So right now I've kind of like cashed all of, my fiat and I like bought, as much like crypto as I can, when it was at 55K. And now like it's still around like 10% of my overall investing portfolio. And it's kind of like nervous putting it above that because I do believe in diversification. And I don't think, obviously like a lot of people, like big investors like disagree with this because they say people like, diversification like preserves wealth, specification like creates wealth. But, I do think if you have like a bunch of, like if it's diversified, but it's a bunch of different like smart, high growth, like potential investments, I don't really think that like quote really applies. But with it, I'm gonna put like as much as I can into it. And it probably will end up exceeding 10% of my portfolio before this is done, depending how much like actual like fiat like I earned today. But basically, I'm gonna be doing a lot of work on both my companies, CWT Business Development and CWT Media. This is gonna be one of the hardest I ever worked today because I'm gonna try to make as much money as possible and then buy as much as these dips as I can. So I'm gonna go out on CWT Business Development. What I'm doing, today is, we relaunched the Divine Era clothing brand, and I'll be using a lot of different, like I'm using social media marketing to kind of get that out there and try to get some sales there. Like profit margins for the clothing is obviously not like insanely high, but it is like pretty good margins. And I think I can make a lot of money like that way. And also like, it's just a brand that I really like. And I think owning a clothing brand would be cool. So like on the CWT Business Development accounts, and also like I'm probably going to add it to the CWT store. So if I do, it'll be on the CWT store, like, social media accounts too. But I'll be doing a lot of different promotional work for the Divine Era clothing brand. And then on CWT Media, I'm going to try to like create like a bunch of like new content today. And like, all the money I make there through like, like advertising and also like affiliate marketing, I'm going to try to like, transition into crypto. And then everything the store for business does today probably will end up going to crypto. And like really, I'm going to try to have like a really big working day and try to make as much money as I can. But also the only issue with like all that is today is currently my exam week. Like I'm currently taking, my college exams, the last time I'll ever have to because I'm graduating. But Obviously I have so much like work to do there, like finishing up all the homework for the school year, doing a bunch of like actual like studying to make sure I pass these exams. So I'm trying to end this semester with all A's. So really, today is going to be a day of absolutely no free time. Everything's going to be devoted to working, make as much money as I can to buy crypto under $50,000, which is an opportunity that I genuinely believed I would never have again. So the fact that I can buy a crypto at this price is just insane. And also making sure like I pass all these exams. So that's really like all I can do for this live stream today. Obviously, it's been a lot of fun. Like I absolutely love the live format. I hope everyone watching has like the greatest day of all time. Even if you didn't watch this live, you're just watching this as a normal video, or you listen to this on the podcast later. But that's really all for this stream. If you're new, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.